Today marks 1 week since Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared. Investigators still do not know where it is, but there is growing evidence this morning that a deliberate act may have sent the plane thousands of miles off course.
The search for the missing jet and the 239 people aboard is shifting farther west toward the Indian Ocean. Clarissa Ward is in Kuala Lumpur, where Malaysian officials just spoke to reporters. But we begin now with Bob Orr. He's in Washington. He's talking with his sources about the investigation. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Gail and Charlie. Well, investigators now say there are more and more indicators that suggest the disappearance of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 could involve a criminal act. 2 communication systems on that plane stopped working in the moments just before the flight disappeared from radar. One, a data system that transmits messages about the plane's engines and performance, shut down. And then so too did transponders, which provide controllers detailed information about the jet's speed, altitude, and position. We have to say, while a cascading electrical problem could cause that kind of sequential failure, investigators say it's also entirely possible that somebody on that plane intentionally turned off the systems. Also, investigators say there is further evidence suggesting the jet did not immediately crash after the data disappeared from radar. A transmitter on the plane apparently continued to try for more than 4 hours to ping satellites. That's an indication to analysts that the jet continued to fly for some time. Investigators believe the plane turned and flew west from its intended flight path. Military radar picked up a trail of unidentified blips, moving away from the spot where the jet vanished from civilian radar and then back across the Malaysian peninsula and toward the Strait of Malacca. U.S. radar experts have looked at this. They now believe that these radar blips did likely represent the missing Boeing 777. Officials tell us that the plane had enough fuel to carry it another 2,500 miles or so out towards the Indian Ocean. So the expanding search area, we have to say, is likely to grow even larger. While investigators believe still that the flight likely crashed in water, it's possible, Charlie and Gail, that it actually landed somewhere.
Bob, is there a ramp up of American involvement in the investigation?
Yes, there clearly is, Charlie. The Malaysians now are sharing more information with U.S. aviation analysts who have a special expertise, particularly in reading radar data. So that's why the search area is now expanding, as I mentioned, towards the Indian Ocean. Also, we have to say here that there's a clear American interest on a couple of levels. The plane, of course, built by Boeing, and there were also Americans on board. But on top of that, this case could, in the end, involve a crime or terrorism. And we have to say that could have some future security implications here in the U.S. homeland.
All right,
Bob,
Bob Orr, we are all watching. Thank you.